Today's video is all about Marc Jacobs Beauty. Now, the first incarnation of the brand disappeared in mysterious circumstances and nobody wanted to claim responsibility. The question is this new incarnation worth our money, worth our time, and worth our attention? We will look at swatches in Selfridges, which has the exclusive in the UK. And having looked at those, you'll also see everything that I bought. We'll look at things in close detail and keep watching to the end to find out why I've got these on my mind throughout the video. Watch on! There's an awful lot of makeup to try on, as you can probably tell, given that my face is naked and in fact bereft and slightly melancholic because I need the makeup. So why don't you have a look at all the swatches that I took while I was in Selfridges in the Marc Jacobs pop-up. This is for the launch, and it's before they actually get housed permanently in Selfridges. So take a look at all those swatches, and then we can return to look at the eyeshadows that I bought and how they look indoors and in artificial lighting, as well as daylight and sunshine. And then we can come back and I'll try on the rest of the makeup that I've bought, and we'll take a look at that as well. So see you in a bit. There's Marc Jacobs. Let's go in and go a swatching and have a look. So here is Marc Jacobs Beauty. We've got an awful lot to enjoy here. We've got eyeshadows, of which there are 14. We've got volumizing mascara in 3 shades, 21 Longwear eyeliners to look at, as well as 1 highlighter. And then there's a balmy blush stick that comes in 10 shades and a lipstick that comes in 20 shades. Just out of shot is the bronzer, and there are 9 shades of this. The packaging is a mixture of hearts, daisies and stars, and there's a lot of sort of signature yellow both in the boxes and in some of the components. All the components seem to announce that Marc Jacobs Beauty is going to be all about being playful, zany, youthful and fun. There's a nod to Jeff Koons here. There's a lot of Takashi Murakami, not surprisingly, with the daisy motifs. There's lots of fun. It's tactile. It's very much approachable kind of packaging. The question is it any good? The thing to remember is that originally this was under LVMH's stable and this is now Coty, so it's a completely new beauty line. Let's see how new and how innovative it really is. Here are the swatches of the 10 shades in the balmy blush stick. Along the top we have got Hot Flush, then we've got Self-Centered, which is number 111, then we've got Shady Business, number 112, and then next to it we've got Twin Cheeks, which is 113. The middle row has got Papa Don't Preach, 210, next to it 211, Attention Please, 310, Cherry Tease, and 410, Freaks and Cheeks. The lower 2 shades are Last Word, which is 510, and Pink Kink, which is 511. So there we have it, 10 joyful shades. This is the Money Shot Highlighter Gel, an all-over face and body water-based jelly formula with what they say is an addictive fresh feel that delivers a shimmery, stroboscopic, multi-dimensional glow. It's got a sleek, pocket-ready jar, and it takes your look from sunlit streets to neon-lit nights. It needs no setting and it delivers 0 fallout. Its weightless formula stays patch, smudge and transfer proof, powered with hyaluronic acid for hydration properties, and it's non-comedogenic and suitable for sensitive skin. The cream to powder formula in the eyeshadows comes in matte as well as metallic finishes. There are 4 mattes, which you can see here. 100 is on brand at the top. Next to it, Act Natural, which is 110, then Delete That, which is 120, and then Hater, which is 130. They're the 4 top shades. In the middle, we've got Shady, then Spicy, and then Cancelled, which is that lovely green. Next to it, a gorgeous fuchsia in That's Cute, then Zero Chill, that sheeny, shiny, silvery shade, and then Extra right next to it. And then beneath we've got Out Late, Clap Back, Mood Swing, and Serving. The last three are the shades that I've got and I'm going to be testing in this video. Lots and lots of metallics here. They're very smooth and creamy to the touch on the swatches, and these are literally one swipe swatches, easy to kind of apply on the back of the hand at least. But let's see how they perform on the lids. The mattes are very, very velvety, so there's lots there to have a go at, and it's nice that there are transitional shades as well, should you need them or should you want them. Now here are the eyeliners. There's a lot of claims with these. They are up to 24 hours of wear. They're waterproof, smudge proof, fade resistant. They glide on effortlessly apparently, and they're buildable, and they're suitable for contact lens wearers and sensitive eyes. So let's have a look at the shades. At the top we have Salty, then we have Nude Attitude. The yellow is Hot Take, the blue is called Take Notes, 140 is Facts below, which is a deep brown. Then we've got 150, which is Not Playing, and finally we have You Wish. Now, I should say that these come in a range of matte and metallics. We're going to look at all of them close up. And here are the next 7 of the eyeliners. At the top, we have Try Me, shade 170. Then we have Gagged, and then we have Hit It. In the middle, we've got shade 200, which is called No Shade. That's clever, that's a black. And then beneath it, we have got Blocked at 210, 220, Be Better, and the final shade is the silvery shade, which is Big Flex, and that's number 230. But there's more. There's another 7. And the final 7 shades are, at the top we have No Cap, which is 240, and next to it we have Boo Boo, which is 250. I love that shade. Then we've got this gorgeous pink, which is 260. You Up, question mark. And then we've got Unhinged at 270. And the final 3 shades are HMU, as in Hit Me Up, which is 280. Then beneath it, we have a little bit of Delulu at 290. You can see it as my hand moves. And then the final shade is 300, So T. There we have it. The new volumizing mascara comes in 3 shades, pleasingly including a brown. Here we have Onyx, Cocoa, and the very bright Indigo. And it comes in very pleasing tactile packaging, matte and silicone and soft. And finally, here are all the lipsticks swatched for you. On the top row, we've got 100 Blow Stick, then 101 Love Muscle, and 102 Lips Don't Lie. The next 3 shades on the top row are 103 Booty Call, 104 Eat It Up, and 105 Kinky Business. That's the top row. On the next row, we've got 106 Burning Desire, 107 Mutuals Only. The middle shade of the bottom row is 108 Heart and Fast. Then the penultimate shade is 109 Burning Up, and then the final shade on the bottom row is 200 Love Drunk. Now, I should say that really Love Drunk should go on the next set of swatches I'm showing you. It's just that I can't count, and I thought that was 10, and it's not. It's actually 11. So as you can see, the more natural and neutral shades are the first 10 shades of this lipstick. Let's go on to the next swatches. And here we've got the final 8 shades. One shade was missing, and that is 400 on Red. So on the top row, we've got 201 Heart Attack, then we've got 202 Hot and Bothered, and then 300 Fully Loaded. On the middle row, we've got Hot Blooded, which is 301, 500 Mauve On, and the final one on the middle row is Ought and Naughty, which is 501. The 2 very bright shades are Pop Off, which is number 600, the bright electric purple, and 601, That's Hot, an intense hot pink. Very, very vibrant indeed. Born Star Eyeshadow is a cream to powder formula with up to 14 hours of wear and 1 stroke intensity to colour your lids in a New York minute. With crease-free, waterproof and humidity-proof wear, Born Star is perfect to paint and play your way. Born Star's sensorial, bouncy yet buttery texture results in a seamless, fallout-free application that blends effortlessly with fingers or an eyeshadow brush. The unique texture gives the flexibility to be fearlessly bold or diffused and natural, and sets to a comfortable, smooth, soft powder finish. Available in 14 stunning shades across matte, metallic and duochrome finishes, Born Star eyeshadow answers the call for those who crave eyeshadow looks that are fun without the fuss. This Marc Jacobs eyeshadow is housed in a one-of-a-kind, star-shaped compact with a swivel mechanism in a reflective, pale green metallic finish. Ophthalmologist tested, suitable for sensitive eyes and contact lens wearers. There are two metallic duochromes in the Marc Jacobs collections, and I've got both of them here to show you. Let's kick off with my putting on Clapback, which is described as a pink and bronze duochrome. These eyeshadows, as per the website, will give us 14-hour wear and 1-stroke intensity to colour your lids in a New York minute. I think you will be able to see that even with the Shadow brush, which is so diffuse, we do really get the colour payoff on the lid. Crease-proof, waterproof and humidity-proof wear. Now it also tells us that the unique texture, which is cream to powder, I'm not sure how unique that actually is, gives the flexibility to be fearlessly bold or diffused and natural, and sets to a comfortable, smooth, soft powder finish. Now, as you can see here, we really do get lots and lots of colour payoff. I'm now sitting in very, very bright sunshine. Definitely has the wink factor, you know. If you're going to spend your day giving the occasional cheeky wink, you've got to give people something to look at. That's the way I think. I feel it's polite, you know? This is public service makeup. I have to tell you that when I just use my finger and just put it on my lid, it goes on super smoothly. It really does. It doesn't drag on my lids. No funny business. And I've got dry, crepey lids. The question is what you think of the colour. I actually like the shade, to be honest. I like these duochrome, slightly complicated shades, you know? I think they're fun as a one swipe. Okay, let me take you into the bathroom so you can have a look at that. Indoors, again, no artificial light, just by a window. Okay, so that is Clapback. Let's go on to the next one. So for the second look, here's me putting on Mood Swing, which is described as a blue and purple duochrome. Now, to begin with, I just used my finger just to see what happens. And I'm not disappointed. I don't know. What do you think? I think this is pretty good. You get great colour payoff, a good bit of drama, and it's, what is it, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, something like that. I then use my brush on the other eye just to see what happens and how different it is. I mean, it is slightly different, and I'm not sure which one I would end up gravitating towards. It's just that using the finger does seem to make more sense just to get that depth. But again, it's no effort at all. I use a little bit of a transition shade as well, and then probably because I'm probably a bit more confident, I don't know, I use the tiny little Shadow brush just to put a little bit more of Mood Swing on the lower lid for a little bit more intensity. Okay, this is what it looks like under artificial light, and then we'll go out in daylight and have a look. I'm so sorry, I've just sneezed about 6 times, so my nose is clashing with my eyeshadow because it's Rudolph red, but you know, there we go. Okay, right, let's go out and have a look. So this is daylight. You're definitely getting that lovely shift from the duochrome. It really is rather lovely, I think. It is worth saying to you, and I should say, I've put these back in the box because, and I do realise my jumper matches. I mean, I've been going about my day as a normal person. I mean, I always feel like I'm a sort of emergency services vehicle in this jumper. But then I thought, actually, it would be quite fun to match it. But anyway, here's the thing. The only reason I keep the boxes is because humanely, but it's probably a coincidence, the shade names are written in a lovely, readable, large font. So it just makes it easier for me. But if I just take these out, I want to show you the two side by side in daylight so you can see. Clap back here. And then we've got Mood Swing here. So just to show you how different they are. So Mood Swing is very much bluey, and Clapback really gives you that lovely, I always think of it as like a chameleon-y kind of shift, these kind of duochromes that have got a bit of green in them. I mean, it's not green. It's described, as I said, as a pink and bronze, but the bronze does give you that sort of bronze with a patina on it, if you know what I mean. If you look at really old vases in a museum, in the British Museum or somewhere, do you know what I mean? I don't know, yeah. The blue, I believe, doesn't shift in quite the dramatic way as the Clapback. When I say blue, I mean the mood swing. But you still get lots of interest, and it's definitely, they're both definitely duochromes. It's just that with Clapback, I think you get a bit more drama. But maybe that's also to do with skin tone and what colour your eyes are as well. Okay, so I'm in my bathroom again. I actually quite like this. I find this probably more quote-unquote wearable than Clapback, even though I'm more attracted to Clapback because I do like these pinky shifties. But I think you get bang for your buck in terms of, not monetarily, but in terms of the colour payoff. You're definitely getting that pizzazz, you know? Go big or go home. I mean, I am at home, I know, but anyway. And now let's give the third single, which I have, a go. This is number 230, Serving. Now, serving in modern parlance is all about presenting oneself in a dazzling and interesting way. So let's see if this one delivers. Now, here's the thing with this one. I don't think this one actually needs any transition shade at all. I use a brush to begin with, and that goes on really nicely and blends very nicely, I feel, into my eyelid. I'm kind of surprised by the lovely wet look it gives. As I've said before, if you're going to wink at somebody, give them something to look at. Give your public something to enjoy. If they're looking, then they deserve a bit of a show. And then I also smush it and use my finger. Well, I don't smush it, I use my finger and then smush it across my eyelid, and that works really well as well, I rather feel. It's funny with this packaging because as much as it's evocative of many things, in the hand it basically just reminds me of a fortune cookie. I know it's not the same shape as a fortune cookie, but I do rather feel that when I sort of open the lid, I'm going to get a little message. You know, someone is thinking of you right now. They're trying to remember your name, something like that. I think doesn't look too bad at all. But no fallout to speak of. Can't say I can see anything, and I am trying very hard. It's successful on the wink factor, I would say. And then let's have a look at it in indoor light. Under artificial light, rather, I should say. It's got that lovely, very slightly wet look finish to it. It's rather lovely, isn't it? What do you think? But you can see it's got that high pearl finish to it. We're in sunlight. What I want to say about this, I had big hopes for this shade, and I'll tell you why. It's a bit niche, but stay with me. Last year, one of my top eyeshadows of all last year, and my top single, was the SUQQU single called Rinrai. Now, I know it's really frustrating because it's very hard to get SUQQU anywhere, really. I mean, we have it in Selfridges and a couple of other stores. I think you can get it in some parts of Europe, and I know now in the States it's just, you know, it's almost impossible. So here's what my thinking was. Wouldn't it be great to find a single that was as good as Rinrai, but that was a bit more, you know, generally available? Let me show you. This is Rinrai, this is the SUQQU, and next to it is Serving. I'm not saying they're the same, but what they both have, and you can see it on my eyelids. Now bear in mind, my eyes are, the skin is, you know, it is dark, but it serves a very similar purpose in that it's kind of shifty, it's soft, and it's very much a one swipe story. It really is, either with your finger or just a quick cheeky little brush. I know that's not a swipe, it's a brush, but you know, different methods. I think this serves the actual purpose that I love in a single, which is that quick morning, I don't have time but I want to look pulled together, smush. And there's a bit of shimmer, there's a bit of interest. Now, Serving is described, I'm reading down here, a pinky nude with iridescent pearls. I think that is a fair description. It's more glassy than the SUQQU, that's for sure. But I don't think that's a bad thing at all, because I also think that for a mature lid, a little bit of glassiness, it needs to be subtle, doesn't it? A glassy pearly finish as opposed to a full-on metallic like we saw with the, what was it called, Mood Swing, for example, or Clapback, sorry. I've got to remember the names, I'll get there. They are more of a commitment. They're more of an eyelid commitment. This is not really an eyelid commitment. It's just a very nice look. And I think, looking at this now, it's all skin tones friendly. What's great about the Rinrai is in the dead of winter, what's nice about it is it's very subtle. So it doesn't have the same glassiness. However, this feels more modern. I think that's probably what it is. It feels slightly more current. I don't know, what do you think? I'm very interested to hear what you think of these three, because as I said, I was at pains to get the three that had the shift, that had some kind of, you know, more of an interest. And it was serving that initially was the one that I just thought, oh, that's the one I want. Even though I was not at all interested in this launch. I think I'm the lone voice. Just was not interested. But that was the shade that I kind of looked at, and I don't think it's disappointed, actually. Okay, indoor daylight. Take a look. I think this is very wearable. I really do. I also think it's quite office friendly if you are in a relatively conservative environment. I think this would be absolutely fine as long as everything else was kind of muted. I mean, I've kept things relatively muted, although, to be honest, this ILIA lip gloss I just really like, so I tend to wear it a lot because it fills the lines. I don't know what it does. It does that sort of smooth thing, which I like. And let me show you this again, not in sunlight. That's Rinrai, and this is serving. You can see that lovely, lovely glassy finish to it. You've seen the eyeshadows, now let's try on the rest of the makeup. Honestly, I started with this launch thinking, I'm just gonna buy one eyeshadow and I'll see how it goes, because I was a bit sort of underwhelmed to begin with. And I have ended up buying an awful lot more. So let's start with the eyeliners. I've not tried them. All I've done is swatch them on my hand. So Drawn This Way Longwear Eyeliner is a sky-high performance gel liner combining intense long-lasting pigments with tug-free glide and blendability. With up to 24 hours of wear, this Marc Jacobs gel eyeliner is waterproof, sweat-proof, fade-resistant and does not smudge. Drawn This Way's creamy texture gives you one-stroke intensity and the ultimate versatility, effortless flexibility between pinpoint precision and sultry smokiness. Due to its optimal playtime, you can blend and smudge before it sets. Available in 21 high-impact, beautiful shades across matte, metallic, glitter and duochrome finishes that give you the freedom to be you in every hue. Drawn This Way is a sharpenable plastic gel eyeliner featuring a colour-matched barrel and an iconic statement star charm on the cap. Ophthalmologist tested, suitable for waterline use, for contact lens wearers and sensitive eyes. The two shades that I bought 170 Try Me, and then I bought 250 Boo Boo. Very sweet. Anyway, Boo Boo is a metallic. So let's try them. I have got my trusty Victoria Beckham brush, so I'm going to do a little bit of smudging and see if we can do a little wing. Let's take Try Me first, which I just think is the most cracking olivey shade. It's the kind of shade I really love. Now, there is nothing at all on my lids. There's not even any base or anything. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, that's rather nice. And shall we see what we can do if we smudge it? I'm just using this little smudger from Victoria Beckham. Oh yeah, that's a bit dramatic. It's probably a bit too dramatic, but you can at least see the colour. Maybe I should have put something on my lids because they're a bit pinky, aren't they? Can you tell it's real allergy season here for me? No one's going to mess with me with my eyeliners like this. Do you know what I mean? Well, the reason why no one's going to mess with me, they'll all be running away from fear, but never mind. It's a type of power, isn't it? Fear. I'll take it. That's what this looks like. I'm going to do the other one as well, just to show you. Oh, I actually rather like this. Should we put a bit more? Yeah, why not? It's extremely smooth. I don't know whether you can put it in the waterline. I don't mind trying it in the waterline. I don't think it says you can, but I'm game. I'm willing for a shilling, as we say here. Okay, so it's not stinging my eyes, I should say. I'm not saying this is necessarily a look I would go for, but I do think it's important that if we're going to test it on the waterline, I do it instead of you, in case it's a disaster. This is not stinging me in the least. I kind of scare myself, but never mind. It's good to keep people on their toes. So that's what that looks like. I like the shade. In case there's anybody out there who, like me, really likes Dior's Lucky Clover, completely different beast, I know. But I do use this smudgily, and I may end up using this smudgily. Let's see if it's different. Yes, it's different. The thicker line is the Dior Lucky Clover, which has got more of a silvery tinge to it. The Marc Jacobs, I think is fair to say, is more olivey. Now, I've never met an olive I didn't love, frankly, in whatever way, shape or form, edible or not. That's what this looks like. I do like it. I mean, obviously this is a bit more dramatic than I would ever do, but you can still, hopefully, see the shade. Let us try the blue, which I'm very excited by. So let me show you how it compares. Oh, it's good, isn't it? Okay, let's give this a go. Very smooth. I mean, it feels gel. That's what it feels like to me. I'm going to do the same wing because I think it might be easier for you to see. Although I don't know why I feel compelled to say this. I would not ordinarily go quite to town as this, you know. Although maybe I should. Okay. I think I've done a bit of a bad job there. It's a bit untidy, but let's see if we can, let's use the different line. I'm not sure whether I've been quick enough, to be honest with you. I may not have been. Oh no, there's still a bit more playtime. It's more playtime than I thought. Yes, because I suppose in Selfridges, there's 21 shades, and I took my time, you know, obviously I had to draw the line and do all of that. And then by the time I'd kind of walked around a bit, had a chat with the assistant, they just wouldn't come off. I don't know how long that was. That was probably 10 minutes. I rather like this colour. Okay. From a experiential point of view, it's super smooth, you know, no dragging. I've got dry crepey lids, mature, usual thing. You know the drill. So that's what that looks like. To be honest, I really like these two shades. I do. I wouldn't wing them like this, like normal life. However, what do I look like? It's a bit Egyptian. I feel like a pharaoh. Oh my goodness. I don't know why it's taken me so long. This is what I was born to be. Okay, shall we put it on the inside? Shall we put it on the inner lid? Would you put electric blue on the inner lid? I'm about to be that person. Come on, let's live a little. I'm sure you do, but I don't. Okay, live a little, I mean. Let's try this. Come on. You can't say I don't show you a bit of silliness. But if somebody like me who can be quite conservative, eye makeup wise, not always, but you know, I don't want to scare the horses. The matte, fabulous. This, I would wear no problem. I just wouldn't do the wing. But it does make me think, when you look at those shades, there's an awful lot of more conservative shades there to enjoy. And they would be no problem at all because the smoothness is absolutely there. It really is. Why don't we try the mascara? Yeah, kicks and giggles. So I bought the Indigo for reasons best known to my psychiatrist. I didn't go for the black or the brown. I'm so excited when I see a range commit to a brown mascara. Never mind a new brand, because to all intents and purposes, this is a new brand. It's a new launch. And they have committed to a brown. So I did kind of think, well, they should get a few brownie points for that. Now, this is, I think, rather lovely. I do wish with this packaging that this was squidgy. I wanted it to be like a squidgy cushion. And actually what it is it looks like it's going to be squidgy. So someone like me gets their hopes up, but actually that's not the case. It's a bit like the eyeshadows. I am not offended by this. I don't think it's cheap. I think it's kitsch and it's fun and it's youthful and it's exuberant and it's either your thing or it's not. I'm not saying it's necessarily my thing, but I'm not horrifically offended by it in the way that actually I was offended by the Prada blush. I don't know why that is. I think it's probably to do with cost partly. I think it's also to do with the integrity of the aesthetic. You know, Marc Jacobs is known for punky, fun stuff. You know, and a punky kind of fun aesthetic that kind of goes for it and is exuberant. With Prada, it's all about restraint and class and being very kind of intentional in terms of the aesthetic control. And that blush was not that. That blush was a prototype. So I'm not offended because I think it's part of the thing. But again, with this, I wanted it to be squidgy, but it's not. So it looks like a cushion on Team America or something. In other words, everything's really plastic. Let's try the mascara. So I went for the indigo. Actually, I wasn't really paying attention because I got this mail order and I wasn't paying attention as to quite how bright indigo actually is. Because the truth is, I probably wanted a navy, but we're going to try it. This is a volumizing mascara, apparently. Here is the brush. It's pretty bright, isn't it? The Flashes mascara is described as caught in a flash. Meet Marc Jacobs Flashes Mascara, a lash-defining mascara delivering panoramic volume and intense colour. It defines every lash with clump-free precision, clean, buildable volume and lavish length. Flashes Mascara delivers up to 18 hours of smudge-proof, flake-free wear, yet removes with ease, built to keep up with your non-stop day. Formulated with a blend of peptide and clover flower extract to keep lashes feeling nourished and conditioned. Flashes Mascara comes in a star-shaped lilac tube with a metallic star charm. It features an hourglass-shaped moulded brush that delivers the perfect amount of product while coating every lash corner to corner. This Marc Jacobs mascara is available in 3 shades, ophthalmologist tested, suitable for contact lens wearers and for sensitive eyes. But let's try it on. Give it the chance. Okay. It's a lot brighter than I would wear. I used to wear this in the 80s, but in the 80s, firstly, it was the 80s, okay? And we were all wearing bandanas and pearlized lipsticks. Plus I was younger. I was younger and less wise. It's certainly very indigo. Well, it's certainly very blue, that's for sure. I think it makes me look even more like a pharaoh, but let's see. Is it volumizing? It's quite a thick texture. I don't mean that as a criticism. I'm kind of, you know, describing it to you. It's got that heaviness that I associate with, for example, Lash Clash, which I do like. I wouldn't say it's got the same thickening properties so far as Lash Clash. That may or may not be a bad thing for you if maybe Lash Clash is a bit too much for you. But it's giving me volume. I mean, I've got relatively thick lashes anyway. I'm not sort of dissatisfied with my lashes. Okay, I can see the indigo now. I don't know what I think. I think I would wear this colour on holiday, on a remote island, when it was just me and a few water turtles, maybe, you know? And if Godzilla was to find me on that island, I would scare him away with my eyeliner and indigo mascara combi. I don't know. But anyway, this is what it looks like. I like the finish of it. It kind of feels like it's probably for somebody who has already got relatively good lashes. I don't know how good it would be on somebody with sparser lashes than me. I'm not saying I've got very thick lashes, but they're not sparse. And I do wonder if the formula might be a bit overwhelming because it is quite thick. You do feel it on the lashes. You do feel that slight weight. I mean, I have to say, annoyingly, I would quite like to try it in a black or a brown. I would like to be able to test it daily in my daily life, as opposed to this, which is a special occasion thing. Just like to say, do you know what's nice about the packaging? You know how it's got this sort of ridge business because of the star? It's very easy to hold. And I say that as somebody, mascaras can slip out of my hands. One of the reasons why I like not the Lash Clash, sorry. One of the reasons why I like the Dior is it's quite easy, it's hard to, it doesn't slip out of your hand, basically, because it's got the canage thing going on. So it, you know, it's easy to grip. This is easy to grip. I would like to try the brown or the black. I'll probably try the black because then I can show it to you in a sort of meaningful way with some mascara, with some eyeshadow. I think that's what I'll do. But that's what I would say. I would pause if you've got sparser lashes than me because it may not be that flattering. And here's what it looks like in daylight. I'm in front of a big window. You're certainly getting indigo, aren't you? You really are. Actually, I quite like it looking at it now in daylight. Yeah, maybe I will wear it, to be honest with you. So that's what it looks like, and that's what the eyeliner looks like. What I like about the metallic blue is it's not got that chunky metallic quality to it. It's quite a subtle metallic. When I say subtle, I don't really mean subtle. I think what I mean is smooth. It's a smooth metallic finish. I'm going to go and put some actual foundation on, and then we can try the rest of the products. If you're enjoying this video, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps my channel and it really helps this video go out to yet more beauty lovers. If you're not already subscribed, do consider subscribing. I upload at least twice a week and I take an intelligent and critical look at beauty, including new releases, helping you become a smarter beauty investor. So do hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell, and that way you won't miss any of my videos, including the ever popular new releases video and my Nope series. Okay, bronzer. Marc Jacobs Legally Bronze Bronzer is described as sun-kissed in a snap. It's buildable, versatile, and it's a bronzing powder that's for an all-over sun-kissed glow or softly sculpted definition. Legally Bronze formula blends effortlessly for a blurring second skin finish and offers up to 10 hours of wear that's patch, fade and sweat proof. Silky and velvety to the touch, Legally Bronze melts seamlessly into skin and builds effortlessly for a natural finish. Available in 9 shades, this Marc Jacobs bronzer is designed to flatter all skin tones and undertones. Legally Bronze comes in a sculpted silver compact with a softly inflated surface, topped with the signature Marc Jacobs daisy, frosted petals and a metallic pistil. It blends playful spirit with timeless sophistication. I wasn't going to buy this, but everybody was going on about how wonderful the bronzers were last time. Now, I was a fan of the eyeliners and the mascaras and the eyeshadows last time. I don't remember even trying the bronzer, so I can't comment. But I was tempted, obviously, in store. It is very pretty and it has got a lovely daisy on it. And who doesn't love a daisy? I got it in the shade medium. I was umming and ahhing, to be honest with you, and so I did what I always do with bronzers. I erred on the side of the lighter one, thinking I can come back for the darker one. I have got my Andrea Ali brush at the ready. It is very soft. It's very soft on the finger. It reminds me, but it's not as pigmented, it reminds me of the Tom Ford. But let's see what it's like in the execution. And indeed, whether the shade is going to be too light. Oh, there's a bit of glow in this. No, it's not. It's just my cheek. It's just my aging cheek. That's all it is. Oh, that's rather nice. That probably is the right shade for me. Now, I should say that all I've got on, foundation-wise, is the MAC Studio Fix Plus foundation. That's what I've got, which is a powder. And I only did that because I've taken my makeup on and off so much in the last 24 hours. I just wanted something that was a little bit more easy to remove. And it's going on fine. But that is a powder foundation. Oh, I put a bit too much on. I was a bit too slap happy there. Never mind, we'll blend it away. But I do like the shade. That's just about right for me. What was left on here, I just sort of put on my eyelids just to give it a little bit more of a matte look. You know, I rather feel Cleopatra would have done the same. So we've put it here, and we'll just try a little bit here and see what happens. What I like about it, and it may be as much to do with the shade as with the formula, is it's going on lightly. You know, it doesn't feel like a heavy formula, which I've had before, and sometimes that has put me off bronzers, I must be honest. In that, even with it, you know, this is a nice light brush, and I'm trying to be sort of light with it, so I am getting a light application. It's just easy. That's what I'm finding. Does it smell of anything? No. Which is good, because that is what has put me off the Dual. There's just too much fragrance going on. I like fragrance, but there's just been too much of it. The actual compact itself is very pleasing, partly because it's a nice fat square, which I like. It's a shape I understand, but also it's got a nice decent size mirror, which is going to be very useful. And it's a very cute compact. I think I wouldn't like it as much if it was in this kind of silicone-y packaging, but this, well, I won't say it's sophisticated, but it's still fun. It's still the fun end of sophistication, as opposed to the slightly juvenile end of fun. I think I said that the wrong way around. I think what I meant was it's fun with a tinge of sophistication, as opposed to fun with a tinge, or more than a tinge, of the juvenile. So that's what I think. I like this because it's soft. That's what I like about it. It's a nice diffuse application. And now I understand why they were actually very hard to swatch when I did actually track them down. All the bronzers had basically disappeared when I was in Selfridges, and that's because people had basically taken them off to try them in daylight and so on, and there was only so long I could hang around, which is why I didn't swatch them. But when I did get my hands on a couple of the much lighter ones, because I think there are at least maybe 4 shades lighter than the one that I got, which is the medium, they literally just didn't show up on my hand at all, which is fine, but that's why I didn't swatch. I didn't sort of record or put up rather on this video the swatches, because they just didn't show up. But they were very kind of diffuse, and I see now that even on the shade that's right for me, that is the case here, and I do like that, because it means I can't get myself in a pickle. I don't want to look like I've had a terrible encounter with a chocolate gelato. That is as much bronzer as I like, to be honest with you. And this is the perfect brush. I think they're out of stock still, these brushes, but it's worth clicking a link so you get an alert next time if you've not got one of these, because it's just the perfect brush for bronzer and blush, because it just diffuses everything with no aggravation or work involved. It's for the cosmetically work shy like me, basically. So that is the bronzer. That has been a success, I rather feel. Now, I also bought, and this is problematic for me, but I was kind of tempted as I went to swatching for you. This is the Joystick. I'm very bored and tired of the double entendres here. Marc Jacobs Joystick Blush is described as swipe on and smile from lip to cheek. This is a multi-use lip and cheek balmy blush that delivers buildable, blendable colour that stays vibrant all day. Life-proof and made to withstand heat, humidity and sweat. Its creamy yet lightweight texture melts seamlessly into skin without disturbing makeup. The Joystick Blush Stick delivers up to 12 hours hydration feel and is powered by daisy oil antioxidants and hyaluronic acid for hydration. Available in 10 joyful shades, the Joystick Blush Stick comes in Marc Jacobs signature yellow, featuring a soft touch daisy-shaped base contrasted by a metallic charm on top. Non-comedogenic, dermatologist tested, suitable for sensitive skin. This is Twin Cheeks 113, a balmy blush stick. Now this is a 2-in-1. I don't use 2-in-1 products. I'm not going to use it on my lips, but it is for blush and lips. It's very balmy, as I recognised on the back of my hand. So let's have a look. Oh, I should say, somewhat comedically, I was given this, a little sheath. And you're basically meant to put your blush in there. In the event of a blush stick emergency, you can have it attached to your bag. I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I'm just not going to do it. but I'm sure plenty of people would. And I do agree that it does look very pretty because it's got the daisy. And on this side, oh, I think it's dropped out, there's a mirror. Yes, there's a daisy-shaped mirror. And so what happens is that goes in the bottom. I'm not sure what I think about this. It's all a bit butt-pluggy, isn't it? I'm sure Marc Jacobs would find that smutty and amusing and so on, but I just find it a bit annoying. So I'm probably not going to use this, but there's a kind of cuteness to it. So I'm sure these would have been popular. Anyway, let's get back to the matter in hand, as it were. Twin cheeks. I actually quite like this delivery system in the right blush. I do. Let's get the LCO2 because I find this very easy for this kind of product. Should we try it on top? See what happens? I'm just going to pounce it on the top and let's see. I don't know whether we're going to get any glow or whether it's going and how it's going to play. Is it going a bit muddy? I think it might be going a bit muddy. That could be as much to do with my putting it on top of the bronzer. Oh, actually, maybe it's not so bad. Probably a bit much though, isn't it? Let's see how we feel after a bit of judicious pouncing and blending. Yes, the whole range is a little bit too much of a pun for me, and I get tired of puns, you know. I mean, I won't say that I think they're the lowest form of wit. I just find them a bit boring and a bit, you know, not funny. One is fine. It's like cooking. You just want a few spices. You don't want to be emptying a whole jar of cinnamon or coriander or something. You know, a sprinkle. Leave them wanting more. Oh, this is actually better than I thought. I thought it was going to go muddy, but actually I think it's all right. I think though probably it may be better on a, I was going to say a blank cheek, but you know what I mean, without bronzer underneath. Although you'd have thought it would behave, it should behave well. That's actually better than I thought. Let's get my foundation brush and just give it a little bit of a cheeky blend. I think it's a bit muddier than not muddy. Muddy's probably the wrong word. It could be that I just prefer a slightly pinker shade. I mean, obviously I chose the shade. It is the shade 112, which is the best seller. Shady Business, shade 112, which is the best seller in Selfridges and was out of stock as a result yesterday. But that's the one that's sort of zoomed out, apparently. And I chose the next deepest one from a pinkiness point of view. It's actually very pretty. You know when you see it like that? There we go. Oh, it seems to be going on better on this side. I do wonder whether maybe I did something. Maybe I was a bit overzealous. Was I? It didn't feel like I was being overzealous, but maybe I was. It's so funny. I keep looking at myself. I'm looking at the eyeliner and it seems completely normal now. It shows you how you just get used to something. There we go. That is Twin Cheeks. I would much prefer to be using this on top of my foundation with no bronzer. I think the bronzer has changed the shade a little bit on me, and that's kind of my personal preference, you know. What I like about it is it's quite sheer, so it's playing well. Yeah, I think I'm going to reserve judgment on the blush, or this shade on me, as it were. And I'd like to play with it a bit more because this one is really is first impressions. It's different in a way with the eyeliners, partly because I know from swatching them yesterday that they really last, you know? I would like to reserve judgment. I'm going to play with it more and you'll find out at the very least in my June roundup. So that's that. Now, lipstick. These are very much balmy lipsticks. They're not sort of solidy lipsticks. No mirror needed. I'll be the judge of that. Marc Jacobs Heart On lipstick is described as swipe and forget. A lip colour that combines saturated pigmentation, nourishing comfort in a soft, dewy shine finish. It provides all-day, stay-true colour that never bleeds, fades, and is unapologetically vibrant. The shiny lipstick glides on effortlessly for easy, mirror-free application. It's never heavy, never sticky, leaving lips soft and nourished all day. Heart-on lipstick also locks in moisture thanks to a strong blend of nourishing cherry oil, hydrating hyaluronic acid, and moisture-locking biomimetic peptide. Available in 20 shades from neutrals to runway-ready hues. Heart-on is encased in heart-shaped packaging in a soft touch finish, contrasting with a metal, deep red, heart-shaped charm. Dermatologist tasted. In the lip, I bought the shade Hot and Bothered, a mauvey deep pink. It's a kind of shade that I find really easy. So originally I wasn't going to buy one of these, and I'll tell you why. I don't like it when lipsticks do that kind of angle. Generally, I don't. I like a nice traditional bullet with a nice traditional slope. I know, it's a bit picky of me, isn't it, to have a favourite gradient. I know it's a bit niche, but I just kind of don't like it. I don't like I just don't like this type of bullet. However, I thought I'd take one for the team, just to try it. I have put a bit of lip liner on. It's this one, Swede Rose Thorn, which is very kind of neutrally. This is a balm, remember. Do you know what it's got? It's got that smell. It's not as bad. It's not as biscuity as the Charlotte Tilbury, whatever these are called, which is very biscuity. It really does smell like a cookie. It's got a slight fragrance to it. It's not balmy in the sense that it is a properly full opaque lipstick. It's got a nice texture. I like it. It's very slightly waxy, creamy, but I can smell it. It's got that smell. And now I think this is a very cheap smell. You know, it just smells, yeah, it just smells cheap. It shouldn't smell of anything rather than to smell cheap. Because while these lipsticks, I'm just looking at the cost now, they are £28. All right, it's not a luxury price, it's not a cheap price either. It's not drugstore. I like the shade, but I've also got to like the formula, haven't I? And again, I think with this, I've really got to wear it a few days to let you know, because if my lips just start going dry, then this is going to be no good at all, because I really do need a lipstick that is moisturising, whatever the time of year. I'm a bit underwhelmed, and I really don't like the smell because it's cheap. Yeah, that's what I would say. It's interesting, isn't it? It's brighter on me than I expected. I don't mind. I like the shade. It's just not what I was expecting. Because the thing about the swatches is, in Selfridges, is you are under artificial light, and there's a lot of them. So, but this is a bit brighter than I expected. But I still like it. It's fine. It's the smell and the texture that I'm not mad on. I mean, when I say not mad on, I mean that in the British sense of I don't particularly like it. That's what I think. I also would not describe this as a mauvey deep pink. I really wouldn't. I don't see much mauve in it. Let's have a look. It's not that mauvey. I did think at the time when I was swatching that the shade descriptions did not always match the swatches that I was putting on the back of my hand and definitely checking on each of the testers. So there is something that's not quite right in the shade descriptions when you actually look at the shade. And even though I chose this in store, I hadn't looked at the shade description on that one when I chose it. I was just kind of, oh, that looks nice, tried it. But this is not a mauvey deep pink. Let's get on to my final thoughts on the whole brand's release. The new launch of this incarnation of Marc Jacobs Beauty has baffled me a little bit. I was initially not that interested. I thought I'd buy one item, an eyeshadow single, and see how it went. I've ended up buying a little bit more than I would absolutely have bought had I not had this channel. But I did end up getting a bit more interested, partly, and I will come to that, from sort of an early success. However, my overall feeling is there's a great expression we've got here, which is all fur coat and no knickers. In other words, it's a little bit more than saying big hat, no cattle. It's a bit more than that. It's more to do with how you appear. And I think we are in that kind of territory with this brand. And I'll tell you why. I think some of it looks absolutely fun and gorgeous. And I'm not saying it's necessarily my thing. It probably isn't. But I can enjoy the aesthetic of it, the fun of it, the exuberance of it. I enjoy it. It's fine. I'm not saying I would rush out to buy more of it. Much as I enjoyed the first incarnation of Marc Jacobs Beauty. But I have to be honest with you, I do kind of feel I've moved on. So I don't feel I have to keep harping back to that or saying to myself, why isn't it as good as it was in, 2015 or whatever it was? Because formulas have moved on. I've moved on. And as we know, with makeup as within so many things, if you're not with the one you love the one you're with. There were plenty of other releases and subsequent wonderful eyeshadows and eyeliners and mascaras that I've enjoyed since. So I don't feel that it's kind of, that was a bygone age that, I have to feel I have to go back to. There are, however, some disappointments. A real disappointment, and what really put me off from the very beginning, is the smuttiness of it. This is a Joystick. This is Heart On. Okay, are we getting the stupid puns? It's just really annoying. The eyeshadow's Born Star. All right, he gets away with it because it's a star, but we know what he's saying, don't we, ladies? And I'm bored of it. I'm tired of it. I find it slightly microaggression-y, have to say. So that annoys me. The only one that I don't mind is Drawn This Way, because that's Jessica Rabbit. Yes? And that's fine. I thought Jessica Rabbit was great. So I don't mind that. But really? And that brings me to Money Shot. I'm not going to buy a product that's called Money Shot. I don't want to be in anybody's money shot. Do you? And yeah, I don't need to be reminded of any of that. So that was a little bit of a step too far for me. I'm bored of NARS. I'm bored of anybody who tries to think that copying NARS is fun. I know Charlotte Tilbury does it. Is it better that it's a woman? I don't think it is. I'm bored of it. It's tiresome, and I think we should have moved on. And so from this point of view, it's not part of the aesthetic. It's part of the kind of stuff that we really all need to be moving away from. And it's exhausting. It's absolutely exhausting. I don't know whether, perhaps the younger customer is either immune to it or doesn't care. But if they don't care, it's disappointing. And if they're immune to it, that's kind of even worse. And maybe I am being humorless, but there you go. Moving on, I think there's highs and lows. Let me tell you why. It's basically encapsulated by the eyeshadows. So, of the 3 eyeshadows that I bought, to be honest, I love all of them. I think they're lovely. They are long lasting, they go on smoothly, all the things I really look for in a kind of single eyeshadow, one swipe eyeshadow, You either like or don't like the packaging. I find this swing a bit problematic because there have been a few times when I've just kind of caught myself, which I don't like. But look, this is serving. It's looking very worse the way. Can you see that crack at the bottom? That should not be happening. It really shouldn't, no matter what you pay. This is made in Italy. I know the beauty community fetishizes Italy and Italian eyeshadows. Quality control has to come into it. Are they being checked? This is not good enough after 3 uses. It's really not. It's cracking at the base, cracking there in that corner. And you know what else? I don't know whether you can hear it. The actual pan is moving around. So what that means is it's either not been stuck properly or it doesn't fit properly in the actual case. I think that's really poor. I really do. I just think it's really poor. It's a shame because it's a cracking, or it's a very good eyeshadow. It just shouldn't be cracking in actuality. My SUQQU singles are made in Japan. Nothing has happened to them. They haven't moved, they haven't cracked, nothing's happened. And I should also say that my Danessa Myricks Lightworks palettes, they're made in China. Nothing's happened to them. So honestly, it's not to do with being made in a country with some of the greatest food in the world. Anyway, so that's disappointing. And this is exactly what's going to stop me buying any other eyeshadow probably from this brand, because much as I love these three shades, if they can't survive normal use, that's, you know, that's not good. Going to the eyeliners, the two that I've got, I really like. Now look, I've got them on the back of my hand here. Ignore that because that's the Dior. So these are the two. They have not come off. I can rub them, look, I can rub them, nothing happens to them. They're not going anywhere. Fantastic. It may be a problem to you if you don't like using an oil-based remover. And the reason why I'm saying that is I was like that when I used to wear contact lenses. Because look, I've rubbed it, and can you see there's nothing on my finger? So you do need an oil-based remover for these. For someone like me who's happy to use an oil-based remover these days, these are great. They go on super smoothly. And what a great shade range there is. There's just a lot to choose from. So I'm delighted. I don't remember enough to be able to compare them with the first incarnation. I know I loved those gel liners, but at that time I was only wearing brown and bronze, and that's what I would buy from that Marc Jacobs line. I just don't remember enough about the finish. And honestly, I can't have been removing them with an oil based because I wasn't using that then. So the lipstick, as I said when I tried it on, you know, I love the colour, but I don't like the smell. I just don't. And also I happen not to like the delivery system when it's kind of this kind of lipstick that's not a proper sort of longer bullet. It's called Heart On, isn't it? You see, the same thing. But the packaging's cute. I just wish they were squidgy. In terms of the blush, it's not sticky. That's what I will say. Having put it on top of the bronzing powder, it's not got that sticky finish. So from that point of view, it's preferable. I need to report back. I need to try it more without the bronzer, with the bronzer again in different ways. I would like to have more of a play, so I will report back. The bronzer is a bit of a winner. I do also really like the packaging. The bronzer formula I really like. It's really soft, it's very diffuse. I do really like it. Can I just say, whatever they have done, they've done something, because these are not fingerprinty, and you would have thought they would be. Is there anything else that I kind of want to say? There is an element to this range, which is the aforementioned all fur coat and no knickers, or perhaps maybe I should say in Marc Jacobs' case, all Chanel vintage jacket and no tighty whities. Because actually, I think overall, I expected better. I certainly expected better of the lipsticks, and I certainly expected better from the blush, and that's a personal thing because I don't like the balms. I could have done with it being a blush stick that's more in the Westman Atelier style, as it were. In other words, an actual blush with actual sort of depth of pigment. It's a bit bulky. I mean, and it's not really sophisticated. They're fun. But do I want to be pulling this out after lunch, quickly touching up my lipstick? It's not sophisticated enough or even discreet enough. You know, I realise it's fun and it's kitsch and all of that. And it's, you know, I am here for it, but I'm sort of here for it to a degree. There's a lot of fanfare, there's a lot of pizzazz, and there's less substance than I would like, apart from the actual quality when I put them on my lids of the eyeshadow and the liners in particular. I think I would be doing the mascara a disservice, and therefore you, if I sort of gave my final verdict, because as much as I like the shade and I think it's fun, I'm looking at myself now and I like it, it's fun, I need to try it in the black. So I am going to buy a black one to try it. Do I need another mascara in my life? No. Does it feel like this is a remarkable enough mascara to buy a second one of? Not really, not at this point, but I feel that I can't give my full review unless I give it in a shade like black or brown that I'm using all the time. It's just that I was attracted to the blue, and as I said earlier, I think I kind of expected it to be a navy, but that was because I wasn't paying attention, because indigo is not navy. They didn't call it navy, they called it indigo. That was just me. It's not clumpy, it's separated, it curled, it gave some volume, but I got pretty good lashes anyway, so I think it's probably not that hard to do that. It's a mixed bag. That's basically how I feel about it, but I want to know how you feel. Let me know. What have you tried? What do you love? What do you not like? I would love, love, love to hear. And what would you like to see? I'm assuming he's coming out, or they are coming out, with a foundation and or a concealer, because we did have a sneak peek of that, didn't we? I think we did see that. Let me know. Do give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.